When world-renowned magician Harry Houdini offered $10,000 to find out what his mom always wanted to tell him before she died, it will be up to two con women who pretended they were psychics and can predict the future to try and handle Mr. Houdini. But however, not only will the two of them be outconned by the world's greatest magician, but they will realize so much more, such as the magic of falling in love with one another and also taking a dark turn toward the end of its days. And the Blockbuster exclusive, Death Defying Acts. Yeah, I probably had a point, maybe I'm not. Oh my god, Lazy Universe has went back to doing its old style videos. Yeah, this is not gonna be a permanent thing, but I really wanted to talk about this movie, and the only way that I could do that was to find a way to get around the YouTube copyright thing because it happened immediately after I uploaded the video last night to be played for today. When you guys are seeing this, I put it up for premiere. I just got done adding in the tags and everything, and right after I liked the video myself, um, because I usually do. Shut up. Immediately after, I went back to watching one of the YouTube videos I was watching. It was one of Dachi's gameplays, and soon immediately after, he got snagged by the copyright bot and said, "Nope, you're not allowed to have this, so we can't give you this." And it's like, I know that every YouTuber has to take the precautions when they do something, but look at every review that I've done so far. I mean, doing pretty well in my opinion, especially the Spider-Man 2002 one. Thank you guys so much for the views on that one so far. But yeah, let's talk about Death-Defying Acts. So Death-Defying Acts stars Guy Pearce and Catherine Zeta-Jones in Harry Houdini pretty much the last few days that he had before he passed away, and he wanted to do one of his greatest performances ever, finding out what happened behind the scenes to his mom. Mm, that is pretty well, good and everything. They do explain why he wants to know what his mom's final words were to him, because he wasn't there when his mom passed away. He was busy being a performer, so he had to tangle with the deals of being a performer before dealing with the deals of being a son, which I would get for a lot of famous people going through these types of things, they would put their family first, but Harry did not, so which is pretty much where he wanted to know what was going on. So he offered up $10,000 to anyone that can find out what his mother's last dying words were to him. And this catches the attention of Catherine Zeta-Jones and Sayori Ramses, I think that's how you pronounce her name, into becoming the psychic. But it turns out that actually Sayori Ramsey, who plays Benji, she can actually she does actually have a basically superpower in this where she can actually basically contact the dead spirits and everything. And so she's the one that tells her mother what's going on. And Catherine Zeta-Jones and Zoe Ramsey do share this really great on-screen mother-daughter relationship. But it almost feels like they're mother and daughter, but you can tell that Catherine Zeta-Jones, in a little bit of way, doesn't really care that much for Benji. It's never really stated that, like, if she didn't want her around or anything, but you can really feel that there was something that wasn't quite there for the two of them. But still, great on-screen chemistry between the two of them. And Guy Pearce as Harry Houdini was a brilliant choice. Not only does he look like him, he captures his energy and everything so damn perfectly. And I mean it too. This film goes into really great detail about how Houdini spent his last days before his death, which, yeah, does come in at the end of it. Um, and they do explain how he died. I'm not going to explain it, but I thought it was really well explained how, he did end up dying. And it's like, he should have taken more precautions than he did. And yes, he did die through the famous punch that he got to the side of his stomach. So yeah, but they do explain how he ended up dying, exactly on Halloween's Eve too, which is more creepier part. But not only is there like romance in this, there is romance that Catherine Zeta-Jones' character Mary ended up falling in love with the amazing Harry Houdini, and it's sort of like maybe Harry had an affair with Mary, according to what this movie's trying to say, because he had a wife. He was married to his wife Beth, and then all of a sudden, you know, he does end up sleeping with Mary. That is a thing in this movie. Although this movie is rated PG, it does have basically, in quote, nudity, but not like full on clothes off. You can see everything nudity. It's PG nudity, if that makes sense. Basically, in that you know that they're nude, but they're never going to show you anything. Sort of reminds me of that infamous scene that she had in Mask of Zorro, where her top falls off, but her hair is right here. So yeah, I mean, it's almost like the same deal basically. Nothing changed. But not only is there romance in this movie, but there's also the concept of conning people. This goes into great detail about how like circus acts and everything, how the magic is actually done, and I think that's great. But the only person that they don't show much of the conning with is Houdini. And I love that idea because it's like, okay, you have Houdini, one of the greatest magicians in the world, and you could show how he does his magic act. Or you could do the best thing and not show nobody. And that's exactly what they did. The only one that they kind of show him doing with the famous Straight Jacket escape that he did. And Harry Houdini, I believe if this is right, he was an inspiration for the DC Comics character Mr. Miracle, a world's greatest escape artist, which basically that's what Houdini mostly did. He was an escape artist. As well as doing magic tricks, mostly his trick was always escaping out of the unpredictable. So, you know, you have Mary trying to outcon Houdini, and every time she gets close, Houdini just puts on the charm and he just charms the hell out of her, and then she forgets what the entire reason why she's there, and I think that's like really something, you know. I just think that's like freaking great. It's like every time she gets close, it's almost like Tom and Jerry, for example. Like every time that Tom ends up close to catching Jerry, and Jerry gets away. Or, for example, with the Looney Tunes, Wile E. Coyote and the Roadrunner. Every time Wile E. Coyote gets close to the Roadrunner, he just beep beep, and it's immediately on, which is almost very close in this movie. It's like every time she gets to conning him to know something important about him and his mother, he's gone. There is a very good reason why he is upset with Mary. And I'm going to talk about it because it really needs to be explained. Um, so later on in the film, where he puts on the charm on Mary, and then she realizes it without her noticing, she escapes. She like runs away, and her daughter chases after her. Then they're met by Mr. Sugarman, who's played by um, I forget, very good actor too. But Mr. Sugarman is the manager of Houdini. He's the one that always wanted Mary and Benji out of the picture. He's like, no, 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 no. I don't need you people here. You can go away. I will handle Mr. Houdini. And they keep trying to tell him, like, no, 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 we can do that too. And he's like, nope, nope, nope. I'm the one that handles Houdini. But then he later on is convinced by them, and then he goes, all right, and he gives them the key to his chest that he has. And when they open up the treasure chest, very similar to open up Pandora's box, they unleash something that they did not want to know. And Mr. Sugarman was the only one that knew it. It turns out that Houdini had an obsession with his mom. And no, I don't mean that like he loves his mom. any kid can be like, well, I love my mother. No, I mean, it's Norman Bates' quality of I love my mother. Yes. He's only in love with Mary because she shares an uncanny resemblance to his past mother, who he really loves. Basically, you might as well say Houdini pretty much wanted to sleep with his own mother. Yeah, they really kind of really take that on in a little bit. It's like, oh, that's kind of gross. But at the moment where Mary's gonna channel the spirit of Houdini's mother, Benji actually channels her and tells him some important things. Beware the angel with the fire red hair. Beware the sun going black. And at noon, everything's done. What these mean is very much going towards death. And the only thing that she wanted with Houdini was him there with her while she died, and I thought that was pretty sweet. But however, his mother telling him, you're gonna die, that's pretty dark. So it's very well atonement to the final moment that he had at the end of the film. Angel with the fire red hair equals the guy that punched him and ended up going to jail for it because basically he committed murder. The sun going black, basically meaning the darkness will come upon you. Basically, when people are in the moment of death, they talk about seeing the bright light before it goes dark. So it's almost like seeing the sun before it goes dark. And then at noon it will end, yet he did die at noon. He got hit right in the stomach and down like a top of bricks he goes. And the ending is very well put together because there's no talking except for Benji's narration and a little bit of talking towards the end of it. But, you know, try to be a little girl and you can't say the words, I have predicted Harry Houdini's death. I mean, that's kind of like that guilt that's always going to sit there inside you until, you know, that you just tell someone like, so I killed Harry Houdini, basically. I mean, that's kind of dark to hang on to that for so long. Defying Acts is a great movie, especially a great biography about one of the greatest magicians who ever lived, Harry Houdini. And I gotta say, because I had to write a paper on Harry Houdini back in middle school. Um, it was either middle school or in like the elementary years, I forget. I think it was elementary. But I did not learn anything about this in my research. I did have to write about his great, you know, escapes. I had to also write how, you know, he died, of course. But yeah, this was never brought up to my attention. And considering that I was doing a report before this movie came out to Blockbuster, which was 2007, during the final year of Blockbuster, they will be missed. Yeah, it kind of caught me by surprise that there was this much saying about Houdini that basically I didn't learn when I was doing that report. So guys, thank you as always so much for watching. This is one of the greatest films that I've watched, and especially that this is a Blockbuster exclusive and not a lot of people have this or own this. I feel very well endowed in knowing that I own pretty much a rare piece in my collection, which is always kind of a nice feeling for me. So, if you guys haven't yet, I recommend checking out Defying Acts. Really good movie. Next week, I hope to go back to the same old formula of doing my old reviews. I have nothing against doing it this way, but I like doing it the other way a lot more. So, hope that you guys enjoyed this review, hearing me talk. Sorry about the last minute change, but hashtag blame YouTube. Yeah, I'm sorry. The copyright bot sometimes is just one of the worst things that can happen on this website. I'm sorry to say. I know that okay. Let me just give you a little bit of a rant before I end the video. If you show like a full fucking movie, that I can understand. But just using like 10 to 30-minute clips, sometimes a little over that. Come on, man. Just cut me a break. But rant aside, thank you guys for watching. And if you can find Defying Acts, pick it up. It's a really damn good movie, and I highly recommend it. So, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.